Just a beautiful sunrise this morning. Again, just a beautiful camping spot last night. A lot of flat areas. Wind wasn't too bad. It got down to only about 48 last night, so it was really, really nice. There's Joe getting things wrapped up. We're gonna try to be on the trail here in about the next 10, 15 minutes. But for now, just enjoying this beautiful sunrise. It is just a gorgeous sunrise. Joe and I have a hard time moving along here. We just keep stopping and taking pictures and saying, oh my gosh.
We've gone 200 yards.
Yeah. We'll get the old man in the sunrise. There he
We're
is.
just so glad that our audience could join us on this event to see this great sunrise. Now this is getting up in the morning, first looking off over this way because there's really dark clouds and things like that.
Yeah, they're chasing us.
Rolling, and then
Yeah.
looking the other way, and it was just a little bit pink a little while ago. And I mean,
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Just gorgeous.
Blossom in these
All right, but we do need to move. You can see these clouds starting to move in on us. It's supposed to start raining about 10, so we should have plenty of time to get to the crossing. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a ride. So we'll see y'all a little bit down the trail.
Happy trails.
We have made it to Scissors Crossing. Old Joe is setting a blazing speed there. It's,
Fresh legs.
fresh legs, yeah. Kind of an iconic underpass here. So now we're gonna test our thumbs out. Lots of water here. Wow, great water cache. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Trail Angels.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna start see what we can do to try to get a ride into Julian. We got lucky. A real nice guy named John gave us a ride into Julian, which is about 12 miles in. And so we are in Julian in search of a place for breakfast. And I'd say we got here at a pretty good time. The clouds are starting to roll in. But it took us about 15 minutes to get a hitch.
Yeah, 15 minutes. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad at all.
You know, there wasn't a lot of traffic. That might have been maybe less than 10 cars.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of traffic at all coming through there. All right, well, I think we found a place for breakfast.
Very true.
Well, if they're open. They're not open yet.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, we're gonna keep searching. Our next little part of our adventure here, they have a brewery here.
Let's go here.
No joke. Hold yourself back. Come on, calm down. Calm
We
down.
even have pizza and barbecue.
Oh, and barbecue. I believe we might have
My little thing.
we might have to have a lunch and a brew.
Lunch involved.
Yeah. All right. Life is good, Joe.
Life is good.
All right, we're gonna go in and see what this is all about.
Happy trails. So hey y'all, there's some days when you're really happy to be out backpacking. And then there's some days, like today, when you're glad you already made it to your hostel. So laying on the bed, trying to take a little nap and looking out the window, this is what I was looking at, and I'll tell you, I'm happy I'm not out there. I'm at the Julian Lodge in Julian, California. We're at about 4,200 feet, and it's gonna be nasty like this probably till about 4 a.m. Glad to be inside. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are doing our day 6 wrap up after a very short hike to get to town and then a lot of eating. So we'll give you a recap of how the day went and kind of a look forward and answer some questions that are out there and give you a heads up on some of our plans given what many of you are seeing about conditions on the trail. So
yeah. So first of all,
like Joe said, we had a short walk into town. Well, I should say short walk to the road. It was about 3 miles, and then we were able to hitch into town. It took us about 20 minutes, I think, to get a hitch.
Yeah.
Real nice guy that was on his way to San Diego, and offered to give us a ride in. Kind of went out of his way a little bit past where he normally would turn, just to get us all the way into Julian. So, thank you again.
And giving us a little history along the way of things that were going on, the lifestyle out there. It was good.
Right.
And dropped us right at the hotel.
Yeah, perfect. And this is what we refer to as a Nero. If you hear the term Nero, what it means is we hiked just a little bit of miles into town and then took the rest of the day off. In our case, we're also staying in town. So we were able to get a few miles in, but better than a 0 where you get no miles in.
Yeah.
So, you saw the videos this morning of the sunrise, just incredible. That whole camping spot down there at the bottom, at the base of the mountain, basically in the bottom of the desert, or the flatland of the desert. Just beautiful. And we were booking this morning. It took us, about an hour to go 3 miles.
Yeah.
we were motivated to get into town.
Horses going to the barn, and it was
Exactly.
just quick. Everything's fresh, and it was nice and cool this morning.
It
but
was.
We were
It
worried
was.
about it heating up, but
And we could see the storm clouds coming. You saw that. We mentioned it in the video. So we would definitely wanted to get here before the rain came. And then our second motivation was to get here in time for breakfast.
yeah. And so here is Julian. That's where we made it to. It's a really hiker-friendly trail town, and about 12 miles off the trail. So you definitely, if you're coming this way, either call the professor or one of the other trail angels out there, or just hitch a ride. It seems pretty safe in that area.
Yeah. And for anybody that's watching that's on the trail, a professor who's a guy that will give rides, his number is posted on a piece of duct tape there underneath the overpass. But pay close attention to the numbers. We kind of mixed them up a little bit when we were trying to call. They're not clear, but
So we texted somebody else who wasn't the professor. Sorry about that.
probably wondering what the heck. But it was pretty early, and we were, again, fortunate to get a ride. So
Yeah.
we were pretty happy about it. But a great little town. This is a little tourist town. And just the people have been extremely friendly. We went to one of the local grocery stores. I don't remember which one it was, but one of the other hikers that were in town was kind of recommending that we go to this one as opposed to another one. And just a friendly lady,
Yeah.
very helpful. She even said, hey, before you buy this, go check out the hiker box down at the beer place. They might have what you're looking for. So we actually went down and looked. They didn't in this case.
And it was a store that was between Mom's, where you get the pies, and the brewery. It was between those two, but on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah. Sorry, we don't know the exact name of it, but anyways. And so we did our breakfast, gigantic breakfast. Denim Dan Denim Dan was there to join us. Also got up with another hiker we had hiked out the very first day with, Hazel from Taiwan. So it's great to see she was still doing good. She's kind of met up with a couple other ladies, and so she's kind of in a little group, which is great. Glad to see that.
We'll probably see them tomorrow. I think that there's a whole bubble that's heading out tomorrow.
I think so. Yeah. And then lunch at the Julian Beer Company.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually behaved ourselves.
We did one beer each. Kielbasa, pork sandwich, good food, and it wasn't very busy despite being a weekend.
Yeah.
But it was good, and then we marched from there
To the pie.
the free pie at Mom's. And it's amazing. You walk in, all you have to do is show them. Make sure you bring your printed PCT hiker certificate,
Your permit. Yeah.
your permit, and they'll give you a free pie, a la mode with coffee.
Yeah, it was all free. It's like,
Tip
wow.
them well.
Yeah, tip them well. Tip them well. So really good. And again, we lucked out. It started misty raining probably about 10 o'clock, right on time. And so, again, just you saw one of the videos of what it looks like outside right now. And again, just God has blessed us with the fact that we were able to get into town, get in the hotel. And again, we're at the Julian Lodge, and really, again, a nice lady at the front let us leave our backpacks first thing in the morning so we'd go get breakfast. And then when we came back, she said, hey, your room's ready. And I think we were in our room about 9:30ish, which has been great because we've had to do all the normal things you do in town. So obviously shower, went to the grocery stores and resupplied. We've eaten a lot.
Haven't gotten a nap in
Didn't
yet.
get the nap in though. We got kind of busy trying to do all the other chores of
I don't
cleaning
think the
things up.
nap's happening today.
I don't think so. It's not looking that way. Or if we nap, it might impact our beauty sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, again, a great day, short day from a hiking perspective, but just a great day overall to be here. We're at mile 77 roughly.
Yeah.
of the PCT. So we're on day 6, and we've gone, again, 77 miles, and feeling pretty good. We've, some of the questions that we've got. One of them has been people really curious about the snow coming through there, and particularly for those that are on the trail or getting ready to be on the trail. What kind of snow did we encounter? And we stayed, I don't remember what night it was, Fred Canyon, which was mile 32. And then from there in the morning is when we started to hit snow about halfway up, probably about 5-6 miles up from there.
Yeah, before we got to Mount Laguna.
Yeah,
God.
and then the last 9 miles into Mount Laguna was just painful.
Yeah.
We did find out that the whole thing about try to get up early, hike when the snow was still frozen, is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
The magical hour is 11. After that, it starts getting soft and slushy. And as you heard in our reports before, after that, we were post-holing up to our knee and just worn out. So we stopped at Mount Laguna.
Yeah. And one of the things, think about it, it was a great learning experience for us, because that's how we're going to need to be disciplined when we actually get to the Sierras and try to go through there. It's getting up early in the morning and walking on, it's like almost like walking on pavement. The snow will be nice and hard and crisp, and if you're wearing your micro spikes, they grip really well to get across it. But what'll probably happen, so you need to be attuned to, is people coming behind us, the temperatures are going to start to warm up. So it may not be 11 o'clock being a magical hour anymore. It might start shifting into 10 o'clock for the snow that's left. So just, like I say, get up as early as you can. Right now, you can start hiking before 6 o'clock, quarter to 6, maybe even 5:30, depending. And so just get up early and get what you can in. And we've been humbled and learned that you can't just power through stuff like
you just have
like
to.
that
You almost
slush.
have to call it a day after the snow starts to melt. So, anyways, coming up halfway out of Fred Canyon, we hit the snow, and it stayed with us for roughly a couple of days. Rest of that afternoon, and we made it to a campsite at 56.2 miles, which is a really nice campsite. It was the first time I've had to set up a tent on snow, and we learned some great tenting stake.
Wait, back up at Mount Laguna, coming out of
Oh,
there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, coming out of.
I'm
I think
sorry.
we already talked about it coming out of Mount
You're
Laguna.
right. It's coming out of Mount Laguna.
You're in it from the get-go.
You're in it from the get-go. We made it to mile 56.2 out of Mount Laguna. And the snow, we started post-holing right about that time, but it wasn't as bad as coming into Mount Laguna.
Right.
It was, probably calf deep. It's more of just making sure that you didn't lose your balance even going that far. And there were some parts that were a little sketchy. You had to be extremely careful, follow some other, post holes that were done, just making sure that you stayed in the right path and didn't slip off the edge.
And in some places, starts to get enough hikers are coming through. If they are walking where the people haven't post-holing, it's starting to create some tracks that you can get through. But then we camped on the snow night before last, and then we left then, and as we told you, we got out of the snow and ended up down in the desert. And it's
So the
just
snow,
unbelievable.
ended coming out of that campsite at 56.2. I hate the fact I know all these miles. They'll be forever in my brain. About mile 60 is when you start to drop below 5,000 feet, and after that is when the snow started tapering off to the point that we took our micro spikes off and enjoyed the ability to walk on dirt again. And then it was just a beautiful walk. Again, we ended up spending the last night in the desert, and it's so nice to be on flat, dry land. Everything was dry in the morning. But again, the important thing was that we made it, and we made some good decisions along the way. And the biggest one being, you got to get up early, you got to go. And when it starts to get bad, you stop. Don't push it. You're only going to get yourself in trouble after that.
Yeah.
So, also had some people asking questions about preparation. What did we do to prepare for the hike? I'd like to say that we were as prepared as we'd like to be, but as with anything, and one of the things you'll find out with backpacking, the only way to really get in shape is to go backpacking. Get out on the trail, and that's kind of, we did some shakedown hikes.
Yep.
Mr. Freeze came down from Ohio down to Georgia, and we were able to do a week-long trip just a few weeks before we left. Kind of gave us a chance to fine-tune our gear, get ourselves ready.
And the AT is really good for that with its ups and downs and things. But even if you have not worked yourself into peak condition, just pace yourself, make good decisions, and it will come to you fairly quickly. It's not too bad.
So then the other questions are, and a lot of concerns for everybody, including us, is what lies ahead.
Yeah, and plus there's been, we looked at some of the comments and things, people were really concerned about the Sierras and the snow, Mount Jacinto, and in those areas, and the trail closures that are out there. And there some folks have even suggested maybe, are you going to hang it up? And it's like, hell no. But we're going to make really good choices about what we do, and you can't make a choice today for what we want to do a week from now. We can begin taking things into consideration about what's going on, but we need to push forward and continue to evaluate as we go along. But the closures at the Paradise Valley Cafe, right near that area, it's like 149,
Yeah, right.
25, something like that, and it goes for about 50 miles, I think.
About 206 for that one. I think.
206?
Or I mean, 2 mile 206, about 50 miles. You're right.
Yeah.
Just a little bit less than that.
So there's official closure. You're not supposed to go through there now because it is dangerous, and even if you can think you can get through and you have trouble, then you're putting the first responders in danger. So,
Right.
but we won't hit that area till about a week from now. So we'll assess what are the constraints they put out there for us,
Right.
and we can bounce
and,
ahead.
in the rally, if the trail's closed, it's closed.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go around it and ultimately come back to it, like we did on the AT, where there were some closures that
Yep.
we ended up coming back and rehiking when they opened the trail back up. We're not going to do anything stupid, and we're not going to go against what they're recommending or what they're saying, again, particularly with trail closures. Our challenge is as these closures are pretty big. I think the last closure goes from 234, 235, something like that, up to 361.
Yeah.
A lot of miles. But we'll just jump ahead to that, and we'll go on as far as we can to Kennedy Meadows, and then probably jump back and try to get these if they're opened up, and then we'll evaluate what is going to happen with Kennedy Meadows.
Yeah, that's good, because we jump back, we're knocking those out. We'll know better about Kennedy Meadows. We may have to take a break when we've cleaned everything up for Kennedy Meadows to be in a more, Kennedy
Right.
Meadows and beyond for the Southern Sierras to be
Yeah.
okay. And if there's a very, what's the right word? If the conditions there are so severe that it's going to cause an even further delay, maybe we would bump up to Oregon or something like that, and
Yeah.
we'll find a way to knock those pieces
Yeah,
out.
we'll figure it out. And again, for certainly for all the family and friends and mom and dad, we're certainly again at the age where we're not going to do anything stupid. We're going to make good decisions. We're listening to all the hikers and what they're saying, mainly for the folks that have been through it, mainly for the trail reports that are coming from the officials, and really just as we look at it, we're not too proud to turn around and go backwards. And making sure again that we're not putting ourselves in too bad of a situation.
Yeah, and there's so many YouTube bloggers out there that have huge audiences and stuff. We've been following them for years, and we keep going back and looking at their videos, and looking at Dixie's and Sam and Mariah and Rocket and some of these other ones. They've really put a wealth of information out there to help us understand some of what we might encounter and helping make good choices and stuff.
And again, also understanding, we know this is an incredibly high snow year, highest they've had in 50 years or so. So we know there's a lot of unknowns out there. So we're gonna be smart about it.
Yeah.
And like Joe said, we may have to bounce all over the place.
Yeah.
This may be a flip flop, whatever. But we're gonna keep going as long as we can. And again, if necessary, we're gonna take time off the trail to let things settle down, and we'll come back and finish it up. So, but we're pretty optimistic. We've done pretty well so far. We've seen a lot of people that have made decisions that were right for them, whether to move forward, to skip, whatever. And I think that's great. Everybody's evaluating it based on what their skill levels are and what they're comfortable with, and that's exactly what we're doing as well. So,
and let's face it, it's really about me, because when I go back and see my friends and family in Woodstock and stuff like that and having beer, I don't want to be the center of attention because I was an idiot and did some things I shouldn't have done and
right,
and
we don't want that
put
center
everybody in
attention to be
danger.
because we're at your funeral. Yeah. So yeah, no, we're going to play it smart, and yet again, obviously the goal is for us to arrive safely at home, back to all the loved ones and everything.
Yeah.
But again, right now it's there's been some parts that make you have to really, really focus hard, but nothing that I would say was totally undoable or
Right.
dangerous. Just some parts that I would label sketchy, but they weren't. We had the right gear and the right mindset, and we took it slow and easy, and we were able to do what we needed to do to get to this point. So pretty proud of that so far. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up there, and we're kind of running this long, but that's where we are. First, almost our first week.
Wow, that's a
you know,
16-minute plus video.
I know.
Code.
So this might be a little long for everybody. Sorry about that, but we thought it'd be good to just try to give an update on trail conditions and where we are with everything looking forward.
All right, well, have a good night.
Yeah.
You're probably already asleep after watching this.
Right, yeah, if you're still awake, hey, wake up, wake up. Time to go to bed. But anyways, we'll start again in the morning. Our plan is to get out of here roughly 9ish in the morning. It might be raining a little bit on us in the morning.
Yeah.
But we'll push out and see how far we can get tomorrow. We'll give you an update then.
We're excited.
Take care, y'all.
All right, have a good one. Happy trails.
Hey, one last video for the night. Just thought I'd show kind of what the room looks like when you put a couple little hiker trash people in it.
This is pretty mild, right?
Yeah, this is mild actually.
We're already past the ear explosion phase.
Yeah.
But then we had a re-explosion. a secondary
Exactly.
Explosion.
We just got back from dinner and it is still raining pretty good out there. So we had to hike in the rain. I hate that.
Is that the first time we've hiked in the rain on this trip?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, more tomorrow.
Happy trails.